Hello. I'm doing this video this morning in the great state of Mississippi in the area of Olive Branch. And I'm actually staying at a Best Western Plus, which turns out to be a really great looking hotel. So I'm kind of using their backdrops. If I can show you this beautiful lounge sofa that they have here with the pretty plush pillows, silver tone gray. Oh, I mean, it's beautiful as far as decor goes in hotels. Can I get this in there? So anyway, but this is what the video is about. I'm doing this video on how to stay married. I've been married, well, God, I'm going on another year. This will be number 20. My husband's gonna laugh. That's why I just stopped and kind of snicker. My husband, I'm looking at another screen behind me, sorry. My husband was gonna laugh at this because he said, you never remember how many years we've been married. You think he divorced me for that, right? Because some people get mad about that. But we've been married. I always just go on and count the years we were dated too. That's probably what my confusion, and it shouldn't be. But yes. So the point of it is, this is year 19. And I've had a few people ask how we've stayed married so long. And some people may not say that's long, depending on how long they've been married. But if you don't go sign the papers, you don't go to and get the papers and have somebody sign, you stay married. And I say that and you might be like, yes, duh. But the point of it is that if you don't do that, you do stay married. Now, the next question that I've gotten is, have you always stayed together married? Or did he go stay at his brother's house, you go to your sister's house, somebody go back to mama's house? We always stayed together. And the reason is because we're married. We're grown, married folks with jobs. What we need to go to somebody else's house for and stay if we have a disagreement. Let me just say some caveats. My dad was a preacher, and I grew up in situations where I would see people who would be married and move in and out. You know, this weekend they're moving out, then the next weekend they're moving back in. And I just said, I didn't want to be one of those people. I don't want to be the person who is, inconveniencing people, moving in, moving out. Because people get inconvenienced by that, by trying to help you do that when they have a life. Make up your mind what you're going to do. If you're not going to be together, you're not going to be together. You're going to have disagreements. Now, it's one thing if somebody's threatening in your life. If they're doing that, you need to leave and make it your final leave. Don't keep going back. But if you're just disagreeing, even if it's about money, I mean, I hate to say this, other people, but if you know you're going to go back, stay there. Is that wrong to say? I'm like, if you're not, you pay for moving. You pay a company. Don't get 50 people. Or if you move once, after that second time, you either stay or you leave everything, something. But don't inconvenience other people because you don't know what you want to do. Leave when you've made a decision, if that's what you're going to do. But I've known people who've been married for 50 years. But they probably spent 30 of them not together. Then I've seen people who've been married for 50 years and get divorced right at the time they get ready to die. What's the point? I know some people have said, well, I just don't want to live the rest of my life like this. I want to be free. I can't tell you those people what to do because they're older than me if they've been married 50 years. But I'm not doing this video to tell you how to deal with disagreements. I'm not telling you how to manage money. I can do that in a different video. What I'm telling you in this one is, it's how to stay married for a long time. And you might say, well, duh, Catherine, that's not what I wanted. And I'll say, well, I'll try to do another video to maybe address some of the other things. You can always ask a question. I'll put a question in the comments and I can address them at a different time, whatever it is. Because being a woman, I know we have to deal with some stuff that we really don't want to. I know that there are stereotypes and scripts that people follow of how life is supposed to be, and it may or may not work for you. This is a different day and a different time where things that people did back when it was our grandmas and great-grandmas, we don't do that stuff no more. No, ladies, we don't take that stuff no more. As they say now, some of my old folks say, y'all don't need to get married nowadays to get what you want. You don't need to, because of the way the world is. But we still love them and we still like the men. So if we want to get married, we still want to do that thing. We still want to have that wedding day. And there's nothing wrong with it as far as I see and as far as I'm concerned. But what I'm saying in this video is, if you want to stay married for a long time, just don't sign the papers. Now, another thing I've had, now there's a guy asking, okay, ask me, am I married? Yes, I'm married. Are you happily married? It's like, to me, when you said that, why? Whether I'm happily married, sadly married, I'm married. I'm not unmarried. Which, that's a double negative, meaning I am married. So it's not going to be to your benefit to know if I'm happy or not. And to go further with that, my thoughts on it is, happiness is an individual thing. It's an individual opinion and an individual perspective as to whether you're happy or not. I know people who have everything that they want. This girl, I pretty much have everything I want. I might not have as lavish of a car, but I got a car and it's paid for. Several vehicles and they're paid for. I have a home. I'm gonna get another. It may not be as lavish as some people think I should have, but I do have them. I have clothes until I'm almost at the point of the house bursting because of clothes and things. Shoes, purses. Gonna get some more. Don't need now one more, because I'm not gonna carry more than 2, 3, which I mean like a purse, the wallet, like say if I have a briefcase or something with work. So, but I have more than I need, and probably more than some people would ever want. But at the same time, I can still find reasons to complain. So I'm saying that happiness is an individual perspective, an opinion of how they see their life, what they think they should or shouldn't have. So if you're finding that you're not happily married, analyze whether it's because of you, him. Is there something you can change? It might be something that you can change your perspective on how you think. There are a lot of things I had to change my perspective on in order to stay in my marriage. I'm not saying happily, but I'm not saying sadly. I just had to make adjustments. When you become one, there are a lot of adjustments. There are adjustments he had to make. Because I often hear him say, well, my wife had perfect hair. And I'm like, I'm not, but I know I'm not. I know I'm not. I know I'm not. Just like, I know I'm not. But I keep saying, why does he keep pointing it out? So anyway, I have to ask him about that. Maybe I'll talk to you about that later. 'Cause we were talking about that last night. And he said something to somebody earlier. Because we were here for a funeral. But we were talking with family. And anyway, if I find that out, I'm going to let you know. But you have to analyze yourself and see what's not measuring up. This is what I told one of my friends one time. We were discussing things about husbands and marriage. And the disagreement that she was having with her husband, I really agreed with him more so than her. So you know that's going to be touchy, because that's why if I'm agreeing with him, she's not going to talk to me about it anymore. But the thing that I've looked at and evaluated in life are some of the things that you're mad or disgusted about, are they things that God decided, or man decided, or you decided? And I say that because there are some things that we have to do that God decided. And if you're getting mad at your husband about it, you're getting mad at the wrong person. Because we are women, female, and we do have a place. And we hate to hear people say, get in your place. But we do have a place. And I do believe in that, because there's no way around it. Like, for instance, if you're mad because we have a set time that we have to have children, biological clocks and that nature. Well, your husband, a man, didn't make that decision. God did. So that's why I believe we're always in a race to try to go on and get married and get pregnant, because we have that set time. And some of us, we try to get there too fast. I was 32 when I got married because I didn't want to go too fast. Well, if I had found a good person, I would have gone faster. But then after being married, sometimes I think, well, I found some good people. I just wasn't ready. And I should have been realistic about that, because you know how we think we can always go and find somebody better. And sometimes if you can just find somebody who you know will love you, treat you well, won't abuse you, won't abuse your children sexually, mentally, or any of those things. Somebody who you feel like you can do the time. And I say do the time, and that sounds bad because it sounds almost like jail. And it is, but it isn't. It depends on how you look at that too. But the thing is when you're building a family, and that's what marriage is supposed to be about, is building a family. Well, in my opinion, building a family, if you're able to have children, to have them and raise sensible, productive citizens for the society in order to praise and worship our Lord and Savior. That was his ideal, according to my understanding, and that's what I had to look at. And then I think about that with people who are in arranged marriages. I've had some friends who their custom is to be in an arranged marriage. I've met a lot of Indians that I work with, and it was really guys, because I don't know if I've ever worked with an Indian girl, female, if you need to hear it, that's that. But the guys that I spoke with and were friends with, and I would say friends because we were able to talk to each other. If we saw each other today, we would still be able to say hello. And, one night used to in particular ride where we go out and eat breakfast, and then we ate breakfast because we worked at night. But the point of it is that one of the guys, I was talking to him, and he was explaining to me that he was going to be getting married. And I was like, oh, okay, congratulations. He was saying, well, he was at the dating process, though. And he was meeting ladies to see if they were interested in each other. And I thought it was just like the parents pick. And they do pick. But the thing he explained to me is that you get to go out on a date. And in this date, you get to meet the person that you're interested. Well, you get to meet the person to see if you're interested. And he had met one lady, and he didn't think that he was really interested in her. So he had gone on another date, and he found this one that he thought that the interest is you want them to have a certain amount of attraction. This is my understanding, that you want to have a certain amount of attraction to the person, and you want them to be attracted to you enough so that you can accomplish a goal of being married, staying married, having children, raising your children, and getting along well enough where it's to a benefit to both of you instead of a detriment. That was the understanding that I got from him, and I thought that was really interesting, and well, just not the normal American thing to do. This was a guy that's, of course, implanted into American society, but he still followed, and he and his family follow his Indian, what do you say, their way of life, of doing that. And sometimes, I can understand, they actually may go back to India to find a wife to show interest. If you hear somebody with their luggage. Like I told you, I'm in the hotel lobby. So I was being quiet so the luggage wouldn't cover my voice because I'm not screaming loud. But yeah, so he was explaining to me that they do both get to decide if they want to be married to each other. And it's just they go out on a date. Now, what they actually do on a date, I didn't go into detail to ask him all of that. I was just just talking to a friend at work, working in passing, and he said it, and I was like, 'cause I didn't go to him asking about it. And so I was like, oh, okay, wow, that's an interesting concept. And he's like, well, that's just the way we do it. It's like, oh, okay. And like I said, probably, I don't know if there were any extra questions I would ask, because I did have another friend. I mean, this guy was my friend. Like, he was trying to talk to me, but I wasn't interested because I knew it was going to be a whole lot of stuff. I did tell him one day we need to get together and have some babies because I thought we had pretty babies, but that was a young girl talking smack. He was a good guy. He was a really good guy. And we lost touch because after we were working, they ended up contracting to work out, and when I moved, I still had the same phone number for a while, but he was trying to get me to move to North Carolina because that's where he was going with his family. And I was like, I don't need to move to North Carolina. I know it's pretty, I'm sure it is, all that stuff you're saying, but I'm from Alabama, and Alabama is Alabama the beautiful. So, if I want to go back to the South, I know to go to the beautiful. And so, I was like a no to that. And like I say, he was a delightful guy, a good guy. There are no words I could say bad about him. But I've never asked him questions. He was Indian, everything that comes with that. He just had been living in America long enough where he was Americanized. But I'm sure if I would have, because I didn't contact him, basically what I was saying earlier, I didn't follow up with him after I left with his numbers or anything. And so, and all that's fine. But the point of it is, I could have asked him a whole lot of questions, and I didn't. And even in him trying to talk to me, I think back now and I'm like, could he have taken me to his parents? And the thing is I don't know, even in thinking about it, because like I didn't meet his parents, but I saw his dad one day because he looked just like his dad. But his dad was about my complexion, which some Indians are dark or something like. But he did tell me that he was unique in that he was light skinned, where they most want the girls to be light skinned, and they're okay with them marrying a dark skinned guy. Which I kind of wonder, like, well, okay, I'm dark and he was light. Have been okay, but it wasn't even an issue for him in that respect. But I don't know, some people might say, well, he was just going to use you as a booty call, girl. But I don't know, he could have had those chances to do that. He didn't move that far. 'Cause, I mean, he's even been to my place and never went over any boundaries. I never felt threatened or uncomfortable. I would have never invited him because I was living by myself alone in New Jersey, and he was living with his family there. But I'm just saying that was an opportunity I missed, trying to find out more about that culture and their ideas on marriage, because for the most part, the idea of finding somebody that you love and might want to marry is really an American ideal, like the United States of America, because in a lot of other countries, everywhere else where the traditions are older, you don't have that choice. And I think of that when I think of that, I think of the 90-Day Fiancé, how a lot of these Americans are going over to these countries and feeling like, or communicating with people from other countries, and feeling like they can marry them, and that they're going to convert them to Americanism, and that they're going to understand everything that means, and not understand that these people have traditions that are from biblical times. When we, as a country, have just been a full count from 1776, because prior to that, we were still under English rule, Spanish rule, French, because they were all getting territories. So this is a new thing, to be able to find the one you want to love and marry instead of being an arrangement. And you think that the people who said that that's the way that they want to establish this country, I'm sure they had great ideas of how that should have been a perfect situation. But oh, how we're messing that up. That needed a moment of silence, because we are messing that up. And it should have been an ideal situation. And at this present time, marriage, the divorce rate in America is at 50%. And I don't know if they even consider how it is in arranged marriages, because in the arranged marriages, they can get a divorce. But in some cultures, they probably still follow the thing with a man who will kill you. But then they try to do that here in America too. Well, I'm going to end this video now because it's getting to a point where a lot of people are checking out. I'm not going to check out right now, but I will later. Bye.